back, you remember we had to work with Cote d'Ivoire, the Ivory Coast, to help them to get sorted out. And one of the things that we found was that there was an agreement with France signed at the point of the independence of Cote d'Ivoire, that France would maintain a military barracks in Abidjan, the capital. And the commander of the French troops, in any situation where he felt the security of Cote d'Ivoire or the security of France was threatened, he had the power, sovereign power, a French general, to take over the public stations, broadcasting, and announce whatever he liked.
Yeah, so that's the former president of South Africa, Thabiso Mbeki. First of all, let me welcome you to One Africa Mission with your brother Dobia Anzanse. Please, if you are joining us for the first time, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, One Africa Mission. We are missionaries. We are on a mission. We are young Africans. And our mission is all about the unification of the African continent. Our mission is all about the dignity of the African race. Our mission is to bring an end to the nonsense that the colonial criminals have created in Africa. It is our duty, this generation of Africans, to bring an end to that nonsense, as I will show you the full video of what President Mbeki was talking about. Can you imagine this French, the rubbish and the nonsense that they are doing in Africa? And yet they are calling us third world countries, calling us poor countries. You know, I keep saying it. We cannot blame our ancestors for the Africa that we inherited from them. All this nonsense that the agreement that they signed with the French, they wanted to start something for us to continue. They wanted to start something. Okay, that is why they signed all this nonsense that we are seeing today. But it is our duty to stop it, to bring an end to that, because they have done their part. What are we going to do so that future generation of Africans will not be going through that, what we are going through today? As I keep saying, we are not happy with the Africa that we inherited from our ancestors, even though we cannot blame them for that. They didn't know better. But today, me and you know better. Are you happy with the Africa that you inherited from them? No. Will you want your children to inherit the same Africa? Or will you want to hand the same Africa to your children? No. So if you are not happy with the Africa that you inherited from your ancestors, if you are not happy with the Africa that we have today, and you want to bring a change, then please join any Pan-African group that is fighting for the unification of Africa, because it is only unity that can give us back our dignity as Africans. As Kwame Nkrumah said, we either unite or we perish.
We must unite or we perish.
United we stand, divided we fall. So please, I thank you very much for coming around. Please, if you haven't taken time out of your busy schedules to subscribe to our YouTube channel, please do that. Support our mission. We are on a mission, and our mission is to fight for the unification of Africa, is to gain back our dignity as children of Africa, because it is only unity that can give us back our dignity as children of Africa. Join our mission. We are missionaries, and as I said, our mission is to visit the 54 states in Africa, as we already started calling them states, because the momentum is high. The call for a united Africa is very high. And if Africa is united, all these countries will become states. So let us start calling them states before we even get to the united Africa. Let us start calling them states. So our intention, or our mission as here in One Africa Mission, is to visit the 54 states in Africa, to preach the gospel of united Africa to the people, to our people, to evangelize the gospel of unity to our people, for our people to see the need for us to unite, the importance of unity. Look at America, 50 states. They had to fight a civil war to bring all these states together. And today, America is the most powerful country in the world. Imagine, with our resources as Africans, with the human resources, we have the youngest population in the world, with the human resources and also with the natural resources. Imagine if we have one Africa, with one military, one passport. Is there any passport that can stand an African passport? Today, you cannot travel with your African passport, no matter which country or which states you are coming from. Nigeria, Kenya, Tanzania, Ghana, wherever. You cannot travel with your African passport without being harassed by these colonial criminals who came to divide Africa among themselves. Imagine if we have a united Africa with one passport. Is there any passport that can rival our passport? No. Is there any military that can rival our military? No. Is there any president that can look into the eyes of a united Africa president and speak nonsense to him? No. But today they are doing that to us because they deliberately separated Africa, divided Africa. In Berlin, they deliberately divided Africa to keep Africa at the bottom of the human race. Today, it is me and you, our duty to stand up and fight for a united Africa so that children of Africa in generations to come can also have dignity and the same privileges that everybody or all races are having on this planet Earth. I thank you very much for coming around. So please, if you appreciate what we are doing, help us, support us. Let us take our YouTube channel to 10K subscribers. The subscription has been very slow, but we thank those of you who have support us, who have subscribed. Those of you who haven't really gotten time out of your busy schedules, please take time out of your busy schedules, subscribe, and let us all together fight for this unification of Africa. So yes, let's watch the video, the full video, and then we come back and analyze it.
A few years back, you remember we had to work with Cote d'Ivoire, the Ivory Coast, to help them to get sorted out. And one of the things that we found was that there was an agreement with France signed at the point of the independence of Cote d'Ivoire that France would maintain a military barracks in Abidjan, the capital. And the commander of the French troops, in any situation where he felt the security of Cote d'Ivoire or the security of France was threatened, he had the power, sovereign power, a French general, to take over the public stations, broadcasting, and announce whatever he liked. It's one of the agreements, one of the 12 or so agreements, that not only Cote d'Ivoire, but many countries of the Francophone countries that signed with France at independence. Mali has just repudiated all of those agreements. I think there were 11 or 12 of them, which include prescriptions about when you've generated a foreign currency, bank it in Paris. And Paris, the French franc then, would guarantee your currency, CFA. Part of what is happening in West Africa is a rebellion by young officers against French neocolonialism. It's not only military coups to remove some elected president, but these young soldiers are saying our politics since independence has respected this junior relationship with France. That must end. So you see the big confrontation between these countries and France. It has to do with ending like the agreements I've talked about. That you'd have a French general based in Cote d'Ivoire who has actually the power to intervene in Cote d'Ivoire as he liked. So it's an anti-neo-colonial rebellion. It has got this element, you are quite correct, of removing elected presidents. How does the continent deal with that? Well, you know the OAU has a standard policy against illegal changes of government. So the military governments don't get recognized. But we have a particular consequence now where Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso decide that they are walking out of ECOWAS. Now that can be a positive development. What is to be done? It's not a question that we can answer here, but I think it's necessary for us to understand the objective reality. What actually is happening? It's not just young soldiers who are hungry for power and therefore remove this elected president. No. That's why they talk about Thomas Sankara. Sankara took power by coup d'etat. He was a soldier. But Sankara understood this particular issue, the need to destroy and defeat neocolonialism. And that's what these young soldiers are saying. What do we do with them? What does Africa do with them? I think Africa is a challenge, a problem, answering that issue, answering that question. Again, you see, with regard to these issues of our need properly to understand what are we dealing with. It relates, for instance, to the matter of the situation in the eastern part of the West Africa situation.
So as you can see, the former President Thabo Mbeki is talking about what the French are doing in Africa, especially West Africa, those so-called French-speaking countries. What they are doing is so appalling, it's so disgusting. And as I said, sometimes you will question why our ancestors had to sign all these agreements just for independence. But yes, they needed to start something for us to continue. Our ancestors who signed all this and give back, give all these French, these privileges, they were doing it because they know future generations will come and bring and change it. Because they wanted to start something. If not, how can you, in the name of independence, sign an agreement so that the French will still have military command in your country, and any time that they feel that French interests are being threatened in your country, they can come in and take over the government. And a simple layman understanding, take over the government, because they did that in Ivory Coast. They did that in Ivory Coast, and most of the French countries, they are doing it. They did that in Ivory Coast when Ivory Coast had electoral dispute. They walked in and took out Laurent Gbagbo. The French troops in a sovereign nation, so-called sovereign. So where is our independence? The French troops walked in there, went to the presidential palace, captured the president, and take him to the so-called International Criminal Court. They should have been in the International Criminal Court for invading a sovereign nation. But we signed an agreement with them to do that. So and you know what? It is not only even that. Do you know that until Laurent Gbagbo built a new parliament house in Ivory Coast? For God's sake, it's so annoying. The French were renting the previous parliament house to the people, to the government of Ivory Coast. I don't know, like, these French are they really human beings? The government of France, are they really, like, do they really have morals? Do they really think? And these people will come and be calling you dictators, and we don't want dictatorship. But yet they are dictating everything that you have to do in your country for you. Before, until Laurent Gbagbo, that the French troops went into Ivory Coast and captured him at the presidential villa. Before him, all successful Ivorian government used to pay rent of a building in Ivory Coast to the French. That was a colonial parliament that the Ivorian parliament they were using. So they were France was renting it to the government of Ivory Coast. Who does that? And yet these people are taking all this until Mama Arikana started exposing them. We didn't know what was going on, and then we thank God for the life of Mama Arikana. Because all this, Mama Arikana started exposing them. We didn't even know that this is what the French were doing to us, and yet making it look like they are doing us a favor. Can you imagine? And today, we have young people who are standing up and saying enough is enough. We cannot continue to pay this. We cannot continue, and yet you are calling them dictators. We want more dictators like Captain Ibrahim Traoré. We want more dictators like the leaders in Mali. We want more dictators like that one in Chiani in Niger. Because with dictators, so-called, we will have our freedom as Africans. Because how can you sign an agreement that you have the right to go into a sovereign country when you think your interests are being threatened to overthrow the government? That is what they have been doing to us. And you know what is going to bring an end to that? A united Africa. It is only unity that can bring an end to the nonsense that these French, these colonial criminals are doing to Africa. If not, it is not stopping, no. It is not what we are saying. We can cry as we want. They don't care. They don't care. You can suffer all the suffering that is going. They don't see it because these people are not human beings. They don't have conscience. They don't have conscience. They can come out and talk, but they mean nothing, absolutely nothing. The other day, when West Africa wanted to introduce their own currency, the West African, and that is the reason why when these three countries left the ECOWAS, we are happy because ECOWAS wanted to introduce their own currency, ECO they call it. The French president quickly ran to Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, and some few French countries and told them not to. Are these independence? Are these sovereign countries? No. These are not sovereign countries because they can never do anything if France does not approve it. The only thing that French countries can do in Africa is things that the French government approve. So in a nutshell, they are still under the control of the French government. They are still under colonialism. This is not even neo-colonialism. The same colonial pact they signed in the 60s during their independence. It's still continuing. It seems to be continuation of what they were doing, their forefathers were doing to our ancestors. So we have to bring an end to that. And the only way we can bring an end to this nonsense by the French and other colonial criminals in Africa, the Americans and whom today we are asking them to leave Niger and they don't want to go. It is a topic for another day. But the only way we can stand toe to toe with them is by uniting our continent. Is by uniting the continent, having one military. Today we have three countries that are united. We want to see Congo join the Federation of Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. Congo, join it so that you'll be able to use it to fight the terrorists in your country. Somalia, join it. America, the 50 states in America didn't just become one. No, there were stages that states were joining. As states are joining, they are adding more stars to their flag until they have 50 states. And even today, they're still going to add more states. What are we waiting for? We have tried their democracy. We have tried their this. It's nothing but hypocrisy. Today, the only thing that is left for Africa, we haven't tried yet, is a united Africa. Let us, this generation of Africans, fight to unite the continent of Africa, because it is only unity that can give us our dignity as children of Africa. I thank you very much for coming around. I am your missionary brother Dobia Anzanse. Please, if you appreciate what we are doing, as we keep urging you, we intend to visit the 54 states in Africa to preach the gospel of a united Africa to our people. Please support us by sharing what we are doing and also liking, passing your comments. Your comments are really important to us. Those of you who are taking time out of your busy schedules to do that, we really appreciate. We thank you. Those of you who haven't really got taking time out of your busy schedules, please subscribe, share it, and then support us. Let us all together fight for a better Africa, not just for us, but for the next generation of Africans. They deserve better. Thank you very much.